Good evening. We are joining this solidarity reading from Poland and Denmark. I'm Elżbieta Wójcik-Lis, and I'm going to open the Polish section with 3 untitled poems by Krystyna Miłobędzka in my translation. The second poem is a one-liner, and I'm going to read it first in Polish. Miłobędzka's poetry is published by Wydawnictwo Wolno, the Polish small publisher who supports our reading today. Exactly the forehead, exactly the lips, exactly the hands, with the same dirty stain at the fingernail, with little plaits, in a Georgette dress, with a dahlia at the cheek, a strawberry to the mouth, in that blue-grey band in the hair. And would ashes bloom? Kocham cię razem z twoją śmiercią. I love you together with your death. There is growing into a tree. There is flowing. There is running. There is flying. There is from the beginning. There is not what it should be. There is not the one. There is to the end. There is not. There is, there is. There is, I am. The world with you. Thank you. And now I hand it over to Miłosz Biedrzycki.
Good evening, everybody. I will read 3 poems in Polish. Balkan Tanz. Czerwone i pulsujące jądro światła. Ciemne i wilgotne skórzane korytarze. Poziomo przelatują z wyciem tnącym uszy stalowe skorupy. Figlarne potomstwo powietrznych podróżników startujących z moździerzy. Spotkanie. Skorupy i miękkie mięso. Krótka przechadzka przez ciało. To tu, to tam. Żłobienie czerwonych korytarzy. W końcu wyjście na przykład przez plecy przy wtórze entuzjastycznej fontanny podrobów. Tylko szaleniec robi dzieci w takim czasie. Mój tata był szaleńcem, którego nie zobaczę. Najboleśniejszym z 10-minutowych wspomnień mojej matki. Już nie żyje, ja żyję. Patrzę na świat przez okno pępek mojej przyszłej matki. Kiedy dorosnę, będę jak mój tata. Świat jest szeroki, piękny, biały. Tyle domów niestrzaskanych jeszcze. 1912, 1992, 2022. Poobtłukiwany biało-czerwony Land Rover przerobiony na komputer klasy PC. Zawartość zbioru auto-exec-bat wydrapana gwoździem na drzwiach. Spod maski wypuszcza papier drukarka Plujka. Zamiast pamięci operacyjnej kolejowy dzwonek do podnoszenia i opuszczania szlabanów. Zamiast twardego dysku rzeźnik z brodą w fartuchu wkładający i wyciągający płaty szynki ze specjalnej maszynki. Tak, straszne to są sny, ale jeszcze straszniejsi jesteśmy my, humaniści, w melonikach, na peronach, w kłębach pary syczącej spod kół, chuchającej z ust, gazowe światło, bielizna w walizkach, esy floresy z lanego żelaza, żony w kapeluszach i w futrach żegnają nas, postęp cywilizacji, mówimy, doszedł do punktu, w którym wojna na kontynencie europejskim stała się niemożliwa. W śpiewającej tankietce. W śpiewającej tankietce walczy polski żołnierz, inteligentnej za $500 000 przeciwko minom z prochu i starego garka po 27 centów. Czy hasło Punks Not Dead wciąż jest żywe? Czy kapral Śruba, dawniej załogant załogi alter globalistów z Nakła nad Notecią wciąż jest żywy? Czy nastąpił na garnek z prochem, jak na węża pięta Adama, Achillesa? Jak to się ma do reanimacji kultowego rockowego eventu, gdzie tradycyjnie dominowała ludność z irokezem? Kiedy odrzucimy wszystko, co niemożliwe, zostaje prawda, choćby była najbardziej nieprawdziwa. Naprawdę, panie Sherlock? Nie ma pewności, że jutro słońce też wzejdzie. Naprawdę, panie Hume. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm on double duty today. I'm going to read a poem by Grzegorz Wróblewski, who can't be with us today because of his health. And I'm going to read it in the original and then in my translation. And after that, I'm going to read 2 or 3 poems of my own. Okay. Jesse Owens i Lutz Long. Jesse Owens i Lutz Long, Berlin 1936. Skok w dal. Walkirie wstrzymują oddech. Jesse Owens, 2 próby spalone. Lutz Long zakwalifikował się. Radzi Owensowi cofnąć o 1 stopę rozbieg. Wódz wszystko widzi. 3. skok Owensa. Lutz Long miał rację. Jesse Owens w ostatniej chwili kwalifikuje się do finału. Finał: złoty medal dla Owensa, srebro dla Longa. Niewygodna przyjaźń. Wódz widzi wszystko. Rozpalona 1939 libijska pustynia. Long pisze pożegnalny list do Owensa. Opowiedz o tym dokładnie mojemu synowi Karlowi, błaga go. W 1960 roku wódz od 15 lat w piekle, Owens spotyka w Niemczech Karla Longa i spełnia prośbę Lutza. Potem ślub Karla. Karl prosi Owensa, żeby ten został jego świadkiem. Walkirie wstrzymują oddech. Jesse Owens z miejsca wyraża zgodę. Jesse Owens and Lutz Long. Jesse Owens and Lutz Long, Berlin 1936. The long jump. Valkyries hold their breath. Jesse Owens, 2 offside calls. Lutz Long, he qualified, advises Owens to shorten the run-up by 1 foot. The leader sees everything. Owens' 3rd jump. Lutz Long was right. Jesse Owens qualifies for the finals at the last moment. The final: gold medal for Owens, silver for Long. An uncomfortable friendship. The leader sees everything. 1939, red-hot Libyan desert. Long writes a farewell letter to Owens. Tell about it in detail to my son Karl, he begs him. In 1960, the leader has been in hell for 15 years. Owen meets Karl Long in Germany and complies with Lutz's request. Then, Karl's wedding. Karl asks Owens to be his best man. Valkyries hold their breath. Jesse Owens immediately gives his assent. Okay, I'm going to read a poem that is untitled. As Stan Lin writes, the universe tends to resemble nothing but itself. A poem is a universe. A poem is a poem is a poem is a poem. Parts of the universe of the poem resemble other parts of the universe of the poem. These are the days to be unhappy in. I ordered vodka, cola, tonic, gin. You can say a part of the universe of the poem is like another part of the universe of the poem. This place is like my hometown, since you put this place and your hometown in the universe of your poem. Part of this universe may be a metaphor for a different part of the universe. You are the tonic in my gin, since I put you and gin in the poem. This poem universe is talking to itself. Perhaps it is a bad idea to base a poem around an idea. Universes are not made of ideas. They are gas, carbon, proteins, insects, and white-spotted pufferfish. They are water, wind, humans, the words, and Sumatran tigers. If I quoted the entire sentence from Tan Lin's poem, because the retina is weak, the universe tends to resemble nothing but itself, this poem might have been very different. My second poem is in Polish. Sonet o słońcu. Ta wrzawa na rzece, ten huk i trzask, to pęka lód. Tak przełamują się sezony. I czas się ma na rękach, człowiek tuli się do czasu, więc chce się stać w ogrodzie, liczyć kroki słońca, kreślić jego trasę. Krok w krok, o krok za słońcem, biec, iść lub płynąć. A dokąd płynąć? Nie wiem, ale płynąć z prądem w dół, z liściem, gałęzią, drzewem. And to end the reading, I'm going to read a poem that is an erasure. I found an article in the New York Times, and it seemed a little bit absurd to have an article on luxury real estate next to all the news about wars. So I decided to work with it a little bit. Unlikely, an erasure. A little house on the Russian River, rickety disaster. When Mark drove past, I was screaming, "No, no, no, don't stop." A condemned, unsound Mrs. 63 degree in architecture, finally able to erect a small preciousness and keep the exterior, risking our lives, breath. That October, naive and foolish, they were demolishing the laundry list. They knew they would remove the illegal Mr. What was revealed was Pompeii. Mr. said, living, unfinished, descends all the way to the river to forget, have lunch, work, added anchors, perforations, a reminder of years of metal grates, a spiral staircase to space. To ease the burden of a creative solution, I go down the river to the city, but kind of kicking and screaming. Thank you for listening, and I would like to hand over to the poets from Copenhagen, Denmark, and Phelim Gleeson, who is the host of the reading. Thank you so much.
Hello, my name is Phelim Gleeson. I am the first of 4 poets that are going to read from Copenhagen. And I'm going to start with a poem that I wrote earlier this year. It's called Learning to Fly. Have you ever smelled a baby's head? My mother asks me one day when I am 16. They smell like milk and skin, she says, and looks at me. I bet I can still smell it on you. And she puts her hands on my temples and leans in, puts her nose to the crown of my head and breathes in for a long time, and says, yes, the child is in you yet. Doctors Without Borders report that Israeli soldiers are shooting children in the head, shooting toddlers in the head, shooting 18-month-old babies in the head, shooting them directly in the temples, that the unlucky ones are dying sometime later, unresponsive, little pupils dilated in filthy hospital beds, that they sometimes make a show of trying to resuscitate small bodies with impossibly small lungs, so the mother will know that everything has been done to save her only daughter from learning to fly before she can learn to crawl. The doctors let the people know that something has gone very wrong with the people here, with the humans here, that the hands that hold the temples here are sending the sweet release of death in the very wrong direction, that no one is smelling the heads, and that the black hole this is creating will swallow us all. The Israeli soldier aims his gun at the Gazan child's soft head, ready for the little rat to die. The Israeli father aims his gun at the Gazan, the milk of the crown of his newborn settled in the scent memory of the best day of his life. The Israeli son aims his gun at the Gazan child's soft head, the last sweet scent of his skin at 16 still dancing behind his mother's closed eyes. Ivory comes from elephants. It is a natural substance, and it is porous, and my tower is not gleaming, but a dirty brown from the rivers of milk and blood and skin flowing to the sea, no one free but me. And I hide inside it with my arms outstretched, sniffing frantically through the stench, desperate to bury my head in the stained, decaying, nauseating memory of warm temples, soft hands, and sweet honey. Thank you. I'm going to pass on to Alessia.
Hi everyone, Alessia here. I don't know where. Hi everyone, Alessia here. I tried to figure out what perspective I could add as a white European person and what I could say without colonizing the grief. So I came up with two poems. The first one is called Supply Chain. They said ceasefire and we swallowed it whole. Another glossy lie stuck between discounted truths and empire-proved fantasies. We stumbled blindly through the aisles of this post-capitalist algorithm-lit supermarket. Produce, consume, look away while people die. We buy whatever version of peace hurts us least. Whatever lets us sleep at night, lets our bodies stay soft. Whatever scrubs our white guilt clean, every time we click play, buy, search, every time we feed the genocide chain with a single click. We let ourselves be rewired to forget that every day, every minute, even now, people in Gaza hurt, die, forgot what comfort is, can't sleep under the weight of falling skies. Was peace on discount for Black Friday too? The second one is called Witness. A Kufieh guarding my voice, a torn black and white Leila Khaled pinned above my younger bed, bleeding ink, standing as an unwilling witness of my harmless coming-of-age catastrophes between noise-stained post-punk musicians and underground poets. When I was a teenage girl, Palestinian resistance was myth, a shape the world kept out of frame, and I tried to learn anyway. Decades carved in pain, oppression, fear, resistance, hope, that raw, unkillable instinct to fight. In Rajab's shaking voice, see rattling my ribs, a boy clutching his cat, Simba, as if softness could hold back a collapsing sky. Teenage girls skating Gaza's ruins, split knees, concrete dust, the impossible gospel of rising again, in a world engineered to flatten them, a man trying to be a writer, a journalist, in the center of the impossible. What was a poster myth on my bedroom wall is a responsibility now, sitting heavy in my adult mouth. I watch from a room that never shakes, my body clean, untouched, my dog asleep on my lap, clumsiness as the only thing preventing me from skating, crying over my writer's blocks, feel stupid, frivolous, a luxury item for the overfed. There is something sickening in how safe I stay while kids thread their youth through bomb craters and call it growing up. I can't speak for them, I won't, but the least I owe the myth that wired me is to carry it forward, raw and pretty, with the small strength a witness needs to stand against silence. Thanks for having me.
Hello, my name is Lotus. I'm going to read you one poem that I've written, and it's called The War Won't Save Us. War will never save us, yet you cling to this idea so intensely, shielded in your ivory tower with a silver spoon lodged tightly between your teeth, chewing, 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 causing every crown to break. This should have left you wide awake as the torn pieces of bone fall from that moralizing mouth. But your eyes are locked in sleep, dreaming through a TV screen, watching a world you've never seen, and decide for yourself, this is a surface for me to clean. These aren't people, they are dusty deflections, and you cling to your weapons as they are God-given infections, scraping them off from under your boots, pulling every tree up by its roots, and you throw them in the chipper, although you know the taste is bitter. But decided denial is so much better. Now your heart has fallen into that shredder, and your love should be so much greater than false compassion for a settler that rapes the earth and drives it to suicide. What do you mean you'll never choose a side? You can never choose nothing. Your choice is always something. You can choose not to do one thing, but when you face the other way, it's someone else's win. Your indifference is for profit, and you complain you don't know how to stop it, but the least you can do is say, this war should be over and no more bodies should be lowered. I thought the blue flames would keep me warm, but now I know I've gotten colder. Lower that towering head, pay your respects to the dead, and maybe that heart of yours is not gone yet. Thank you. That was everything from me.
Hello, I've got just one poem called The Hands of Little Children. The morning light captures dust suspended over an open mouth and sugar breath, a mess of hair and perfect skin of a 3-year-old tight as a drum, marching as if to peace. The dust dancing in the air is from yesterday's teddy bears and tomorrow's biscuits and today's sandpits. The hands of little children, the hands of little children, in this case wrapped behind a pillow, between two loving parents, one in warmth and one resting on my shoulder. Comfort and silence, I thought. Sheets of morning sun and ocean sounds. This breaking light doesn't capture the buildings, the piss and rust of blood, the vinegar of grief and loss. The hands of these little children are running rivers of nervous sweat, grey with coughing dust, captured in morning light, suspended in worry. All the people they have ever known are pillars of salt in a half-dawn. Living in a sandpit with lungs full of dust, the tension is as tight as a drum. The hands of little children running rivers, messes of hungry hair, morning lights and a humming hungry dust. This is a practice they inherit. The pillow and comfort a practice we inherit. The hands of little children trapped by rebar, the hands of little children reaching up and out to the sea and for comfort and silence. The hands of little children, little children. Whatever happened to my piss and vinegar, my resolve to resolve something, to grab at the rubble with both hands and rip and tear to reach the hands, the hands, the hands. At what point do the hands bend too far? At what point is it too much? When the morning dust is too thick, covering too much, showing us too much. Wrapped between pillows, smothered by a practice we inherit. How do I hold my son's hand and feel it clean and warm? The hands of little children, unreachable, tight as drums. The cold and rust of blood, the cold hands, the warm hands, whatever happens now, now, whatever happens now. Thank you.
So this is us all saying thank you and signing off from Copenhagen.
Hello once again from Poland. I would like to finish this solidarity reading from Poland and Denmark with a couple more poems by Krystyna Miłobędzka. And I'm going to first read the Polish version of her longer poem. W jego śmiechu twoja twarz dokładna i bliska rozlega się echem, wraca mniejsza. Wnuk ci się zaśmiał, ojcze. Nie mogę stracić ci z oczu, tracę. Chcę mówić o tobie, siebie słyszę. Nie droga, nie ścieżka, węziej, wyżej, poprzez coś, co zaraz po tobie powstaje, powraca. Do przed chwilą trąconej sandałej gałązki. Tylko na ociupinę, na parę okrągłych złoceń przy literach. Tam w górze nasza ścieżka, tam w dole nasza ścieżka. Idziemy razem przez wielki porządek gór, niżej połupane kamienie, najniżej kwiaty. Gencjana, niepokonany szafir tego słowa. Biegniemy szybką kroplą po ciemnym liściu. And now in English, in my translation. In his laughter, your face, precise and near, echoes and returns smaller. Your grandson laughed, father. I cannot lose sight of you. I lose it. I want to speak of you. I hear myself. Not the trek, not the path, narrower, higher, through something right behind you that rises, returns. To this minute, the twig knocked by the shoe. Only for a fraction, for a few round gilded letters. Up there, our path. Down there, our path. We walk together through the great chain of mountains. Further down, chipped stones. Further down, plants. Gentian, the invisible sapphire of this word. We run, a quick drop down the dark leaf. And I'm going to read one more poem, also in Polish and in English. And that was a poem that was very dear to Krystyna Miłobędzka. Jestem współżywa, współczynna, współwinna, współzielona, współdrzewna, współistnieję. Ty jeszcze nie wiesz, co to znaczy. Obdarowana przenikaniem, znikam, jestem. Współtrwam z tobą w tym szklistym dniu, z tym szklistym dniem, w którym znikam, który znika ze mną tak lekko. Nie wiem, co to znaczy. Współotwarta z oknem, współpłynna z rzeką. Jestem, żeby wiedzieć znikam, znikam, żeby wiedzieć jestem. Cała, ale całej i nigdzie nie ma. Współprzelatująca, współniebna. Pół wieku żyłam po to. And I think you will notice from the English translation that that's the poem that is very apt to talk about our being together in poetry and in life. I am co-alive, co-active, co-guilty, co-green, co-tree. I coexist. You do not know yet what it means. Gifted with diffusion. I vanish, I am. I co-endure with you on this glassy day, with this glassy day into which I vanish, which vanishes with me so lightly. I don't know what it means, co-open with the window, co-open with the river. I am in order to know I vanish. I vanish in order to know I am. All of me, but all of me nowhere to be found. Co-fleeting, co-skyward. Half a century I have lived for this. Thank you, and in solidarity.